Hello, I'm Linda. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Australia, and today we're making a cute card with the So Detailed Thinlit dies and also the Falling in Love paper pack, which is in our current occasions catalogue. All my details are at the end of the video if you need to contact me for any reason, and I'll also put some details in the comments below. Have a lovely day and enjoy the card with me today. So today's card is a very simple one, but I do think it's rather beautiful. I've used the So Detailed Framelit or Thinlit dies, and I've coupled it with the Falling in Love paper, which you would have seen me use on several occasions now. It's so soft, all the colours are just beautiful, but it matches beautifully with this really soft and delicate die. I've used copper because I love copper with these colours. I just think that looks fabulous, and it just brings out all these lovely browns and Albany sort of shades. So I hope that you're going to enjoy watching me do this one. It's very quick and easy, so it won't take long. We're starting out with a very vanilla card base, which I'm going to fold in half. Make sure when you fold your card base in half that you use a bone folder. It'll give you a nice flat edge and just make your card look so much more professional. Okay, pop that aside for a moment. Now I'm actually using Tip Top Taupe as my colour underneath, and I'm also using this gorgeous Falling in Love paper. It's got hearts on one side, but I love this lace on the other side. It's very vintage looking. So I find Snail is probably the best adhesive for the lighter weight papers like the Designer Series paper, and just pop it on with a little of that. It's the perfect adhesive for that, and it's quick, and we like that too. All right, I've got a little bit of actually made another card here just before, and I've got a little bit of leftover adhesive on my mat here. All right, so you can see that's really pretty. All right, the next thing is to do our copper detail, so I'm going to bring my Big Shot in for that. Here we go. Now I'm using a piece of copper foil, which is one of my favourite items that we currently have, and I've just dropped my plate, my acrylic plate that goes on top of the die. But I'll just quickly open up the dies to show you. They're called So Detailed Thinlits. Okay, this is the one that we're using. There's some others in there which are great for belly bands around cards and banners, and there's even a little window here that you could put words in and all sorts of things. So they're really useful, but I'm just using this larger die here today. So I'm going to pop it on top of the copper, down towards the end, and put my plate on top. And just out of habit, I always, especially for a more detailed die, I bring it back through again just to make sure we've really cut through everything and to make it easier for all the pieces to fall out. Okay, right, so you're going to see it's going to come out really, really easily. That whole piece just lifts off. Okay, but to make life even easier, rather than coming in here with a pokey tool and pushing out all the holes, I actually like to use my die brush. These are $19 in Australia. They're such a good buy. They're in our main catalogue, and you'll see why they're so great. If you just run your brush over the die, a lot of the pieces come out straight away. I then lift off my framelit and just finish the job. I find that by going over the back of it, you aren't going to scratch or damage the foil on the front. So I would normally recommend that you go over the back for the foil papers. Now if there's any leftover pieces, there might just be a couple, just sort of flick those out with your fingernail. So it's actually a really good die for getting all the pieces out. Surprisingly easy. A little bit there, I would like to get those out better. And you could always grab your little pokey tool and push those out if you need to. But as you can see, all my pieces are out now. Okay, so that's ready to use. Just going to empty that into the bin, so it's ready for the next time I need to use it, and push the pieces away. Alright, so I just need to decide whether I'd like the darker part of the lace showing or the lighter part. It really doesn't matter, it's not a lot different. Just looking at both ways, which side do I prefer? Quite like this piece here, that darker piece, so I think that'll work well. Now, ideally, I would probably use my fine tip glue pen to go over the majority of the pieces behind, but that does take quite a bit of time. So to save some time, I'm just going to use snail, and I'll show you how I would do that. I go right along this side piece, this strip here at the edge that kind of holds it all together, and then just use a little bit of snail in the pieces where there's a little bit more concentration of the Thinlit, so on the larger pieces. So just using it here, there and everywhere kind of. Alright, got one piece there that didn't pop out. That's right, now it is. Alright, so I'm going to pop this down. There's enough stick on that to hold it in place, which is great. And just line that up with the side and then push the whole thing down like that. Now, the other thing you want to do is, because we've used snail, there may be a couple little bits where there's a bit of sticky that's come through to the front. If that is the case, it will actually roll off quite easily with your finger if you just rub at it gently. So I do that to make sure there's no sticky bits on the front, and that's how I would go about sticking a detailed die like this. Really quick and easy with some snail. Okay, so that piece is done. Now I've already cut a oval from the Stitch Shape Framelits. If you're looking for these, they are not in a catalogue. You actually just need a demonstrator, me or someone else that you know, to tell you about them in order to order them. You can order them now, either through your demonstrator or through the online store if you're visiting there. There are 4 circles, 4 ovals, and if I turn over to the back, 4 squares. Okay, so really versatile. This gives you a whole range of different shapes for your cards, and they've got that beautiful, I'm going to show you here on one of the finished cards, the beautiful stitched edging that's really popular right now. So these are fantastic if you're looking for a variety of shapes. In Australia, these are $50, so they're a really good deal for the 4 shapes as well, and will give you a multitude of different options. Of course, you'll need a big shot if you don't already have one to cut them with, but I know that most of my customers have one, so you may find those a really great accessory to use with your big shot. I'm actually using a stamp set today. I'm going to go with soft suede because I would like my words to be a little darker so they really stand out. I'm using the Sweet Sentiments stamp set. The stamp that I'm going to use says, "Everyone needs a friend like you." There's a really lovely variety of stamps in here. They're actually designed to match up with the different sweets in the Occasions catalogue. So that's kind of cool, because it means if you've got any of the stamps in the Occasions catalogue, these are extra sentiments that will go with these. I'm using this one, and because I'm using clear, you could, I prefer to stamp and then cut, but with your clear stamps or even your clear rubber like these, either photopolymer or rubber, you can see where you're going well enough with your acrylic blocks to actually stamp them straight on to a cut shape. So it does make it really easy to position your stamps. Alright, let's close that up. Right, so that's ready to go. One thing I did want to do though, and you might see I've done it here on these ones, is I added a little row of pearls, and you're thinking, wow, wouldn't that be painstaking sticking all those little pearls in a line? No, actually it isn't, because if you happen to have a set of our basic pearls, you will see here there are some strips. You can see this is one I've almost finished all my pearls. I've only got a few of the little ones left, but I've also got a couple of these strips, and I keep them exactly for this purpose. You can decide whether I want 3 or whether I want, you know, a bigger row. And if I wanted a bigger row, I just lift up as many as I wanted and snip with my paper snips. But actually I'm just going to use the 3 because that actually is quite good, and I'm still going to snip the edge because there's a little bit of adhesive here on the end. I think this is sort of, these don't get used all that often, these little strips, but I think they're really handy. Alright, I'm just going to pop that little strip there of 3 little pearls. Now I'm using dimensionals on the back here, so just grab up some of these. These are fantastic, these things. I use them on so many projects, nearly every project, because it makes a world of difference to your cards to pop up something on a different level. It looks great rather than just having very flat cards. These really make a difference. Alright, so those are ready to go. I am going to show you how I did the ribbon, okay, because I have my own way that I like to do ribbon. I'm sure other people do the same thing, but I just find it really handy. I'm using the Satin Vanilla ribbon, which is also in the Falling in Love suite in the Occasions catalogue. And I'm just going to grab my card base out. I just want to make this about 1 inch wider on each side, or a couple of centimetres wider on each side than the piece that I'm tying it to, and I'm just going to cut it off on an angle like that so you can see it's wider. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my snail and I'm going to go over the last 1.5 inches or so. So I've got adhesive on both ends but not in the middle. Make sure you put the adhesive on the same side of the ribbon. Then what you're going to do is you're going to just pop it over your card like this, lift it up gently, fold it over the edges. Okay, so now I've got a strip of ribbon with no adhesive in the middle because I can pop my finger under there, and the back of it is just quite neat here at the back. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I am going to put a strip. I cut a separate piece, just to make sure you make it big enough to tie. Don't make it too small, it makes it too hard. Slide it underneath and right over left, just tie it in a simple little knot. I'm going to go the other way actually. I think I went left over right. Doesn't really matter though. Whichever way suits your card is the way you want to go. Yeah, that's better. Okay, pull that tight-ish. Okay, you can see it kind of lifts a little. That's okay because we're going to stick our... Now, because it's a separate piece, it slides along the ribbon so I can put it where I want it. Okay, it's just a really cute way to do ribbon and it makes it easier. So I'm going to slide that back because I'd like it close to my oval. And then I get my scissors. I use a separate pair for ribbons just to keep it so that there's no adhesive or anything like that on it. And I'm just going to trim it off shorter. Okay, that's how I'd like my ribbon, like that. Right. I'm going to attach this to the card base. I usually use fuse to attach a card to a base. You could use snail. If you're using snail, make sure you rub over. So you put your snail on, attach it, and then rub over the whole surface to make sure you get a good bond. Fuse is already going to give you a good bond. The secret of fuse is a really light touch, really, really light touch, and then snap off the ends so that the glue doesn't get stringy and mess up your fuse container. Because these have refills, the same as the snail, they have refills to make them a heap cheaper. You don't have to keep buying the same dispenser all the time. Alright, and our card is done. One thing I just did want to show you really quickly, because this matches the suite as well, is we've got these little Falling in Love embellishments. You can see I've used a whole bunch of mine. If you wanted to put them on a card that you've just made, alright, what you could do is you can decide where you want it to go, maybe the middle there of the ribbon, and I would attach it with a glue dot. So this wasn't on the original card, but I just thought I'd show you these because they're so cute. And just pop it right there. Just as a little extra. There you go, you can see one with and one without. Both nice, and it just gives you that little extra piece. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I will be back, of course, very soon with lots more things to show you. There's always something new and something exciting coming along that's exciting to show you here on video. And keep checking back on the blog too. Sale-A-Bration ends today, so if you're wanting to take advantage of the spend, every $90 you spend, you get a free Sale-A-Bration item. Please contact me about that or order through my online store. I'll put all the details at the end of the video and in the comments below. Thanks guys, enjoy, and thanks for being with me for Sale-A-Bration. Thanks for watching the video today. Bye.